I have on my clock 8:45 on the dot, and just wanted to get started with gratitude. I'm actually, really grateful for everyone who got on the call last night. Conversations about scripts. I thought we had a really good call and really enjoyed fellowshipping with everyone last night.
It was very good. It was very helpful.
I agree.
Anybody else have any gratitude?
I am grateful for the call. Grateful for a good sleep last night. I'm grateful for my children.
I'm grateful for the wonderful friendships that I have.
Awesome. Somebody
I'm grateful also for the call yesterday as well. Although I had to get off early and then I had to reschedule the appointment. Tried to get back on the call, and you guys were gone by then.
Well, it's recorded, so
I am grateful.
Go ahead, Ira. Sorry.
No, it said my microphone wasn't working, so I was kind of testing. I'm grateful for my health and family and just being here.
Awesome. Any other
I'm
gratitude?
grateful. Hi, David. It's Tara.
Hey there.
I'm grateful for you, David, because, the highs and lows these last 3 months, you've kept me on my toes doing things that I should be doing. So I'm getting back out of my slump. So thank you.
Awesome. You've really been stepping it up. I'm very proud of you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm
David,
grateful for you too.
Sorry, Tara, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was me actually. David,
No.
I'm really grateful for you too for being there.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
David never gives up on us. That's the one thing I love about you.
Very, very true. And always there for you.
But that's the one thing.
Okay.
We need a call just for David to talk about David.
I love you guys. I'll never give up on you. And I know your potential. And, there were a lot of people who never gave up on me. I didn't see the potential of myself and in my business and what I could do. And I had people like Sally Ponchak who would always pull me aside. And she would always say to me, you don't see yourself the way I see you. And I know that you can do all these things that you're trying to do. Just keep going, keep going. And it was encouragement like that that allowed me to grow my business and have success. And so when I see that in people, I definitely want to continue to push you guys and always be there to support you and make sure that you are being your best self. And like that video said last night, a lot of times we're at war with ourselves, with the words that we use. And if I can say anything that will change that war and get you to win, that's what I'm here for.
100%. I feel like I already started my morning checking myself because of that video.
I've been checking my thinking too, like making sure what I'm about to say is something positive and not speaking the negative. Such a powerful video. I've watched it about 15 times already.
Yeah, so I put part of my morning routine to listen to that video every morning when I wake up.
Wow.
I heard it this morning too. It just, that's something I'm going to be doing for a while.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which video and the name of it? Because I got on late.
Yeah, so Lynn, on my Facebook page, if you go to David Radney Push, my business Facebook page, I posted the video. It's by a guy, his name is Trevor Moad, and he's a trainer. He works with athletes, but he was talking about negative thoughts. And it's right there on my Facebook page, David Radney Push. And I would encourage all of you guys, if that video really had an impact on you, I wanted to share that video mainly because of the message and also because it was short. It was only 5 minutes. But there are some interviews with this guy that are 30 minutes and an hour and 90 minutes long. And when I tell you, you thought that 5 minutes was impactful, go watch some of his other videos on YouTube. They're amazing.
I watched that video twice today as well, and I wrote down a lot of the stuff that he said. It was really impactful.
David, can I tell you something I did that worked really well yesterday that people might want to do today?
Of course, Lynn.
I bought those KW COVID signs, and I bought little hanging planters, and I put them up and I wrote on them in permanent marker to, I actually put them on the lawns of nurses and doctors that I know. I know 5 locally that were either customers of mine or friends. And every one of them, and I just put it there. I didn't ring the bell. I just wrote their name on it with an XOXO and left the planter and took off. And every one of them posted a thank you on Facebook, got 50 to 90 likes from people, put my name on it, and it, brought a smile to them and also gave me some nice press.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Man, I love that. And as you were speaking, I just started thinking, as we're making our care calls and talking to our database, what if we were asking them for local nurses and doctors they knew and told them about, maybe putting these signs and planters up in their yard as a way to say thank you. And if we went and did that and tagged our friends and really showed them that we followed up and did that and we're showing our respect to the doctors and nurses, that would be phenomenal. That's great, Lynn. I love that. Love it.
Thanks.
So today, I wanted today to be a little bit more about role playing. We haven't done that in a while. And last night we had a great role play with Haza and Amrita. She said she would be on the call today and she's not here, so that's okay. No worries. But I wanted to do some more role playing. And based on the conversation we had last night, it sounds like we're back to the same old objections. I don't want to pay your commission. I don't really need your help. We're getting a lot of showings from buyers in New York, so we feel like we're okay doing this thing on our own. Is that what you guys are hearing? Because that's what I heard last night from everybody. Is there anything else that I didn't cover that's coming up?
I have an agent already, so I'm going to go with that agent.
Okay. All right.
Just
So
bring the buyers.
just bring
bring the
buyers. I have an agent already. Now, I wanted to just get some clarity. Veranda, is this a for sale by owner or is this an expired that already had someone?
It was an old for sale by owner that I called. He's not a for sale by owner right now, but he said when he is going to go back. He is going to put his house back on the market. He's going to be a for sale by owner, but if he decides to go with an agent, he already has an agent he wants to go with.
Okay. And let me ask you, what did you say to that? What was your response?
I was stumped.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Happens to us all.
It happens to everyone. Everyone on this call, jump in and give Veranda some help. What would we say to someone who says, hey, listen, I already have an agent who I would use?
I would
What-
ask if they signed the paperwork. Yeah. Have you signed the paperwork with this agent yet?
Let me just say this real quick. What he said to me was, why? Because I kept going through the questions. He said, why are you staying on the phone with me when I told you that I already have an agent. You don't have any chance. And then he said, so goodbye. Hung up.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So
Not much you can do
first
with
of all,
that.
don't be defeated by that, because here's what you have to understand. He has not signed paperwork with that agent yet. So until the paperwork's signed, you still have an opportunity. What you have to do is really get in there and understand what's important to him. Now, what Haza said is correct, though. When anyone tells us that they have an agent they're working with, we always want to clarify and see if they've signed paperwork, because if they sign paperwork, it's hands off. Like, we can't touch that. We want to just hang up and move on and be respectful of that other agent. However, if there's no paperwork signed, then the question would be, well, why didn't you sign up with that agent? If you have someone in mind, why are you not working with them at this point?
Or we could say,
What if-
and if the paperwork is not signed, we could also say, so the fact that it sounds like you really are ready for this particular agent. But let me ask you a quick question. If you were sick, wouldn't you want to have 2 opinions before making your decision? And I can show you, we can have a discussion. You can get my opinion.
So I like that script. However, I would go a little deeper. Do you know the whole script with that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not well enough.
Okay, so what Ira's talking about, and he has a really great point here. There's a script, Veranda, where it says, Mr. Seller, I know you don't know me. However, I have a question for you. If you found out that you had to have a major medical surgery, would you just go to the first doctor you came to, or would you interview doctors to make sure you have the best surgeon available?
That's good.
And they'll
That's really
probably
great.
say, most people will say, well, I probably would make sure I have the best surgeon. And so the script goes, well, this isn't medical surgery. However, selling your biggest asset is financial surgery. And I know you've already talked to one person. Wouldn't it make sense to talk to another agent to make sure that when you sell this house, you don't leave any money on the table? Or however you want to close that up. But you want to get them to see that just like with the medical surgery, they would get a second opinion selling their house. Why wouldn't they get a second opinion? And that's what I was referring to.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah,
It's recorded. I'm
It's
gonna
recorded.
it's recorded. It's recorded, but I will tell you, it's just, hey, if you were going to get a medical surgery, would you get a second opinion? And this is the Reader's Digest version. Yes, I would get a second opinion. Well, listen, this is not medical surgery. However, this is financial surgery. And so would it hurt to get a second opinion to make sure that when you sell this home, you're not leaving any money on the table? And they may ask you, well, what do you mean? And then you can talk about your difference between, yourself and other agents or your company and other companies. What I typically like to say is, Mr. Seller, is this your biggest asset? And if they say yes, I'm going to say, so I'm sure that when you sell this property, you want to make sure that you walk away with the most money possible in your pocket. Is that the case? And they will say, yeah, of course. Well, what I want to do is sit down and show you what I do to get my sellers more money when I sell their homes. I mean, if I could get you more money, that would work for you, wouldn't it? And when I say wouldn't it, what is that?
Tied down.
So when I say wouldn't it, most sellers are going to say, well, yeah, if you could get me more money, that would make sense. Well, great. Then let's set up a meeting for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, if what I say doesn't make sense, if you don't see the value in working with me, then we'll just end the call. Why wouldn't you take 10 minutes to see if there's a better option?
That really addresses it. It really
That's the
does.
conversation we have around that when they have someone else.
It makes so much sense too. I mean, who's going to tell you I wouldn't go for a second opinion?
Unfortunately, there are some people who will say that. However, that's them outscripting us. Some people will say, well, listen, I already told you I have somebody else. Why are you still on the phone? Click. However, until they list with that other person, we still have to continue to follow up week after week after week. And we really want to find out motivation, because once we understand motivation, when we're following up, we can have a conversation with them that may open them up to meeting with us.
Okay.
What was the other one that came up? The other one was it was commission, and then it was we're getting a lot of interest. We have a lot of buyers that are coming through. That's what I'm hearing a lot of. You guys getting that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, a lot of people from New York. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but I've had 4 agents tell me we have a lot of people from New York who are looking to move out, into Jersey. So we have a lot of interest in our property. I'm not interested in listing right now. What do we say to that?
Well, I've been handling it, Dave, by saying, well, what kind of safeguards do you have in place that prevent just people who are tired of being in the house from coming into your home just because they want to look? How do you qualify your buyers?
Well, Tony, I don't care if they want to look. All I need is one person who's interested in buying my house. And if 50 people have to come, then that's fine with me.
Yeah, the thing that I worry about, Dave, is that you're exposing yourself and your family to this virus needlessly. So when you work with me, what I do is I require them to sign a COVID waiver, which relieves you of any kind of responsibility if they wind up getting it and come back at you. And also, I make sure that they are financially qualified, because they're going to be providing a pre-qualification letter beforehand.
Yeah, I'm not so concerned with that though, Tony. The house is vacant, so I just give them the code to the lockbox, and they can come see it when they choose to.
I totally understand that, Dave. But for me, I would like to control the amount of people that are coming in the house and make sure that we're not wasting your time and that we have qualified buyers coming in only. And isn't that what you're looking for? You're not just looking for numbers, how many people looked at the house. You're looking at people who are qualified and who are actually going to put an offer on there and get this place sold so you can get down to Florida in the next 3 months. And isn't that what you're looking for?
Well, I mean, that's definitely what I'm looking for, but I feel like I have a lot of people coming through, and I don't really need to pay an agent a listing fee when I'm finding so many people on my own. I don't see the value.
Well, the value is probably more in negotiation than anything else, right? It's exposure, and you're getting it because there's a lot of people who are out there now looking. But it's also the negotiation, and that's where I come into place. And if I could sit down with you for 10 minutes and show you how by using me, I can wind up netting you more money on the back end than you can just selling it on your own, wouldn't it make sense for us to have that conversation?
I mean, it's always good for me to have conversations. I'm not really looking to hire someone right now, but I'm always open to listening.
Okay, so let's sit down for 10 minutes. I'll take a quick spin through the house, see if it qualifies for my marketing program. And if it's something I think I can sell and for more money than you're asking, then we can have that conversation then. If not, we'll shake hands, we'll part ways, and I wish you nothing but good luck. Is that fair?
What do you mean qualifies for your marketing program? What does that mean?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't take every single listing. If I think the listing is either overpriced, or if I think that that I really can't sell it for more than you're asking, then I'm not going to take the listing. I'd rather turn you down than let you down. So I can meet today at 5 o'clock or tomorrow at 6:30. What works better for you?
5 o'clock. I love the takeaway close. Like, I don't take every listing. I use that all the time, man. Good job. And I find that works a lot. However,
Sorry.
in this COVID times during quarantine, let me ask you, we have people who are going out and seeing properties. Do you still think that a majority of buyers are very hesitant to go out and see homes right now, guys?
Yes.
Do we have qualified people who could pull the trigger, but they're not going to go see a property right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
I know that we do right now. Now that's going to change, but right now there are plenty of people who are like, "Hey, I need to buy a house. I don't feel safe going to someone's home." So for sell by owner like that, is he missing opportunity by not being able to show his home virtually to those buyers that are qualified?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Is that something that we can offer for sell by owner that they can't do right now?
Absolutely.
Because it's with the for sale by owner, we have to show our value. They're like, why would I pay you a commission? I'm showing the property. I have people coming in. What are you doing that I can't do? And so a lot of times what Tony says will work. It's a solid script and I know it works. However, in order to stand out from other agents and also to show our value, I think we should start talking about how we can expose their house to people that they can't expose it to. Because right now there are plenty of people that are looking for homes that are not coming out. They're not going to open houses and they're not looking.
I have to say, like, I'm working with a buyer who was qualified for a loan before COVID, right? And he's no longer qualified at this point because his pre-approval is expired and now his credit score needs to be higher than what it was before in order for him to be qualified. And this is a person who just wants to go look, and thinks, I had to, I use that when I talk to one of the first LI owners. People that were qualified 3 months ago may not be qualified anymore, and they're still walking around and going to see it thinking that they can still buy a home, but that's not the case anymore.
No, that's not the case. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I don't think you'll know.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the video.
She stopped.
I just turned it off because I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I posted a note in the chat.
Sorry, I didn't know if that, because I keep hearing about these Zoom calls and people hopping on and crazy things are happening. So I stopped the video. Hopefully nobody else saw
because I wanted to shout. But
okay.
Also, when Tony was doing his script, what I thought was great, Tony, but somewhere I would have asked, you're getting a lot of showings, but how many offers are you getting? You're getting a lot of people in, but how many offers have you received so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hayes, I have to commend you because it is all about asking questions, right? And so yes, they're getting a lot of showings, but Mr. Seller, how many offers are you getting?
Hmm.
None. Right? Because if they had offers, either they're too low or they're not getting any.
Right. So then where you go from there? Like, no, I'm not getting, I mean, I'm getting a lot of people, but no offers yet.
Yeah. And so I would ask more questions. Well, why do you think that's happening? Why do you think you have so many people coming through and no one's making an offer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just, it's going to come. Just people need some time to think.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not here to tell you you can't sell the house on your own, right? If you keep your house on the market long enough, if you drop the price low enough, you can always sell your own property. My question for you, is it important for you to sell it on your own, or is it important for you to sell it and make sure that you don't leave any money on the table when you sell it?
Yeah. I don't want to leave any money on the table.
Yeah. So let me ask you, if you continue to keep your house on the market and it's getting showings every week and it's not selling, what do you think buyers and agents are starting to think about your home when it's sitting on the market week after week after week?
Something wrong with it.
Yeah, but
Mm.
you know what? Like I just put it on the market, so it's going really well right now. There's a lot of people coming through, so I am very confident that I'm going to sell this, and you know, I think my price is pretty fair. I just don't see why I wouldn't sell it on my own. But thank you, anyways, for calling. I appreciate it. If
No,
you have a buyer, come on
absolutely.
by.
Absolutely. And hey, like I told you before, my whole goal in making this call here is not to force you into making a bad decision that doesn't work for you. I want to make sure I give you enough good information for you to make a great decision for you and your family. And so, if I could sit down with you and show you some other options on getting this home sold, where even after paying a commission, you still walk away with more money in your pocket, why wouldn't you want to hear more about that?
Because I mean, I get like 50 realtors calling a day. You're all saying the same thing. You all just want a listing. So I think I'm pretty good at where I'm at. So if I need any help, if I don't sell it in a month, then I'll reconsider for sure.
Okay. So what you're thinking is give it a shot for about 30 days. And after 30 days, if you don't sell it, then at that point in time, you might be open to hearing more.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty confident right now. But thanks
So
for
I'm going to put in my calendar 30 days, and I'll make sure I follow up with you in 30 days. I guess my question would be, what's important to you about waiting 30 days?
well, I think my house number one will sell. I know I'm
Mhm.
very confident about that right now.
Mm.
So I would like to be where I need to be in like 3 months. So I think that gives me enough time that if I do need an agent, I'll just hire an agent then. But I'm pretty confident this is going to move. I mean, my house is it's
Yeah.
great price. I mean, I think I'm not over asking here, and that's
Yeah.
why I get
And I've been doing this for about 15 years, and I've had a lot of for sale by owners that feel the way you feel. They have felt that they can get more money and sell it on their own. However, what they found after actually working with an agent was that they got more exposure and they were able to get their home sold quicker and put more money in their pocket. So my question for you, and definitely again, no pressure to do anything with me. Are you a gambling person, Haza? Are you a gambler?
no.
No. Is this house that you're selling your biggest asset?
Yes.
Yeah, it is for most people, including myself. And so, with you not being a gambler, I'm not a gambler either. Are you willing to gamble your equity on waiting 30 days?
If it means I'm going to save money in the commission and I don't have to pay an agent, then
Yeah.
yeah, I'm willing to gamble that because I don't see why I need to pay whatever you charge to sell my house.
Well, if your home doesn't sell, do you know what happens 30 days from now? We're going to be into mid June. Do you know what tends to happen?
No.
Yeah. Most sellers put their house on the market around that time. And so, if you think about standard supply and demand and you have a lot of inventory hit the market at one time, what do you think that tends to do to price if you have a lot of inventory?
I mean, it probably lower the price.
Hmm. It
Hmm.
does.
Yeah.
And I guess my question would be, are you okay with that? Are you going to be okay with waiting 30 days and then having to lower your price just to be competitive to get your home sold?
Do you have a buyer that you can bring by? I mean, we can work this out with you know, and I can
Yeah, you know,
Right.
I wish I could tell you I had a buyer, and I know agents call you and they tell you that every day. However, we both know that's not true because if they had a buyer, your home would be sold already, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So the way that I find buyers for my sellers is that I actually market property. You know, I look at your house as a cheese and the buyers are the mice. And so my job is to market your property and expose it to the mice that actually can afford your property and actually pay for it and they're qualified. And then I'm able to attract a lot of people who are interested so that you can choose the right buyer for the sale of your home. And, you know, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that because I can tell from talking to you, you do want to try to sell this on your own, but I think you also know that there are some other options. And I just want an opportunity to discuss what those other options are so that you can make an informed decision. After talking to me, if you think you're better off doing it on your own for 30 days, have at it. And I'd be happy to be a resource for you and answer any questions you have. However, if I can demonstrate to you that by working with me now, you are going to be better off and put more money in your pocket, again, why wouldn't you spend 10 minutes and have that conversation now versus gambling that you'll sell this house over the next 30 days?
Okay, how about this? If my cheese gets moldy in 30 days, I'll give you a call.
And listen, I'm going to be here in 30 days or in 3 years. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to be here. However, what I want to do and what I'm going to go ahead and do for you, since you're doing an open house anyhow on your property, I'm
Mhm.
going to drop by some information that will help you
Okay.
introduce myself. I'll keep my 6 feet. I'll knock on the door and step back so you know we can at least meet each other and you can see who I am. I'm going to drop some information off that I think will be helpful to you. And then if you have any questions between now and when I come by tomorrow, I'll be able to answer those questions when I stop by and drop off that packet of information for you. Would that be okay?
That's totally fine.
All right. Well, you're a tough seller.
So David did get
Yeah, unbelievable.
David did get the meeting.
Hey, so here's what I will say. Haza is how some of these people are, and you're on the phone like, what do I need to say to you for you to actually meet with me? Like I'm
Yeah.
throwing out gold to you, and you're still telling me no. And here's what I'll say: you're gonna get people like that who just say no, like no matter
That's what I'm
you
getting.
say.
So I'm only referring to what they're saying to me.
Yes.
So
So what you're getting is the main pushback that a for sale by owner would give you. Here's the key to it. Most agents will say, I'm not bothering with that person. Like I tried, and they don't want to meet with me. I'm done. So for the next 30 days, most agents do what?
Leave them alone.
Nothing.
I know.
So you and I are going to go drop off a packet and meet them. You and I are going to go see their house. You and I are going to stay in touch with them week after week. You and I are going to send them just listed and just sold postcards from our other listings and show them that we're doing business. So in 30 days, in 5 weeks, in 6 weeks, when they're ready to actually get some help because their cheese is moldy, they're going to call us because we're the only ones that did our job and continue to follow up. We're not going to score on the first call. Sometimes you do, but it's typically call 5, 6, 7, and 8 when you actually score. So no matter what you say to me right now, if you say, nope, call me in 30 days, I'm done, click, I'm still doing my job week after week. I'm still reaching out. I'm still texting you. I'm still sending you emails. You're still getting postcards. You're getting invites to my virtual open houses for other listings so that you can see that I'm in business making money for my other clients. That's our job, no matter what people say. Good job, Hazel. You're a good role play partner.
Thank you. Now let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If they're saying like, you know, before COVID, if I wasn't able to get an appointment, I would get at least an appointment to come and preview their home.
Yep.
I always needed to work and always need to work on my closing while I was there. But now, if they're saying there's not even a preview, that they won't let you, and they're like, well, just look at my pictures online, you get a good feel.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from there? That's where I'm getting very, very stuck when they're like, no previews, no nothing.
I would say, well, can you go ahead and send me the link to your virtual tour and I can at least take a look at that? And here's what I'm doing. I'm setting them up because I know they don't have a virtual
I know.
tour.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, I don't think they do, but that's a good question.
And then they're going to say, well, actually, I don't have one. I'm like, well, how are you actually, exposing this property? The way that we're getting property sold today is that we're making sure that virtually people who are qualified and can afford to buy a home, they have a way to see a property. Pictures aren't enough. They used to say a picture is worth what, $1,000 or 1,000 words?
Yeah.
Video's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
And so, here's what I'm willing to do for you, Mr. For Sale by Owner. If you don't have a virtual preview that you can send out, would it pose a problem for you? I'm going to use one of the Ron Lugashis. Would it pose a problem for you if I came by, took a look at the property, and did a virtual tour of the property for you?
And how you just do that with your phone? Because they're gonna say yes. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And you just.
Yep. You just go through with your phone and you do a virtual tour. And when you're doing that, you're asking questions, you're digging for motivation, you're really understanding what's important to them. And then you're asking strong questions like, Mr. Seller, before I get out of here, what's your biggest advantage selling this house on your own? And then I'm going to shut up and let them answer. And I know they're going to say, I save money. I don't have to pay a commission. Okay, and Mr. For Sale by Owner, what's the buyer's biggest advantage of buying directly from you? Well, they get a good deal because I'm not paying commission, so they get a better deal on the property. And I'm going to shake my head and say, okay, I get that. So what I hear you saying is you're trying to save money and the buyer's trying to save money. So when it's all said and done, are you walking away with the most money possible on this home? Or are you going to end up selling the home for less because everybody's trying to save money? And let them answer. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to come in and tell them all this stuff I'm doing, this virtual tour I'm doing for you. When I do this for my clients, I'm able to expose the home at a higher level. Because I'm a salesperson and I'm involved in the transaction, buyers expect to pay fair market value when they're buying a home through me. When they go to a For Sale by Owner, they're looking to get a discount. That's why people go to For Sale by Owners, whether it's a house, whether it's a car, or whether they want to buy a new treadmill for the basement. When they go to a For Sale by Owner, they expect to pay less. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm doing the garage yard sale script too soon.
Okay. It might be too soon.
Yeah.
But it's still a powerful script no matter how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do people react when you use it?
Well, one said, well, this is not a yard sale. So, and hung up on me. But and then the other goes, yeah, I hear you, but I'm not going to entertain talking to a realtor right now.
So for those of you who don't know what Hazel and I are talking about, because I know some people have not been through the push program, we're talking about this. And I'll wrap the call up quickly because I know we're over time. Sorry about that. You have a watch, right? If I can get it off my wrist, goodness gracious. So, Mr. For Sale by Owner, you have this Breitling watch, right? If you go buy this brand new at a watch store, you're going to pay $8 to $10 grand, correct? Mm-hmm. Right? So let's say you went to the Breitling store and you bought a watch for 10 grand. You took it home. It was in its original packaging. You never opened it. You had the receipt and you had a yard sale that weekend and you put that watch for sale, original case, original receipt, never opened, and you put it for sale for 10 grand. Would anyone ever come to your yard sale and buy that watch for 10 grand? What's going to be the answer?
No.
No. Why not? Why wouldn't they buy it for 10 grand? I mean, you just bought it for 10 grand. Why wouldn't they pay you 10 grand for it?
It's a yard sale.
It's a yard sale, okay.
You think there's something wrong with it?
Maybe.
It's used.
It's never been opened.
It's still considered used.
It's not guaranteed.
Okay. It's not guaranteed it's used. You're selling it yourself, right? However, if you take that same watch and you go to a watch auction and you have two gentlemen or a man and a lady there who are interested in buying Breitlings, and all they do is collect Breitlings, and they both want your watch, is there a possibility that you can sell it for more than 10 grand if you get more than one person interested in buying and they start bidding against each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so the watch will sell for more if it's in an auction versus if it's at a yard sale. You agree with that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do with your house. I don't want to have it set up as a for sale by owner at a yard sale. I want to have it set up in an auction where I'm exposing your home to buyers that have been looking for a home like yours. And I want to find several people who are interested so that we can sell it for top dollar. I mean, that would work for you if I could get this home sold for top dollar, wouldn't it?
Heck yeah.
So what I want to do at this point in time is sit down with you and show you how I go about marketing my listings so that I can attract a lot of buyers and make sure that my sellers get the best price possible. And after meeting with me, if what I say doesn't make sense, I'm asking for a 15-minute commitment. No obligation to do anything unless what I say makes sense. So I have today at 6 or tomorrow at 4. What time works better?
4 o'clock.
What do you guys think about that? Does that sound like BS, or does that sound like something that could actually work if you were talking to a seller?
Yeah.
Work.
Definitely work.
It's reasonable. It's a reasonable one. Yeah.
It is reasonable. Anybody can follow that, and it makes sense when you explain it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what the issue is? Our income is tied to our ability to have difficult conversations with the seller. That's a difficult conversation to get someone to go through this and talk to them about the difference between a yard sale and an auction, and why they're not doing themselves, why they are doing themselves a disservice by doing the for sale by owner versus listing with us. However, if we can have that conversation and they listen to us, we will book the appointment. The problem is we're not willing to say that. And we just need to be willing to say it. And we need to learn when we ask a question to be quiet and let them answer. Last night on the role play with Haza and Amrita, I noticed that Amrita would ask Haza a question and then start talking and fill in the answer for her. We have to let the sellers answer the question. And if you notice, I would ask Haza a question and I would just shut up and I was quiet. Get the seller to speak, get the seller to self-discover. And then you can say, well, just like you said, you could get more money if you have the auction. Let me show you how I can do that for your home. I mean, why wouldn't you meet with me if I could get you more money? And at that point in time, they typically will say yes. Maybe not on call 1, but maybe on call 3, maybe on call 6. We just got to do our job time and time again. So with that, I realized that we're in overtime. Any questions before I go?
No, I have to definitely listen to this again.
Me too.
There was a really good stuff in here.
Yeah, really. Very good, David.
And David, I need a suggestion for my neighbors, like, what I should be writing to them. Remember, I spoke to you about it last night.
Okay. So I'm going to answer this right now, but I want to say anyone else who needs to jump off the call, you can. Mina had a question about her neighbors, so I want to answer that, but don't feel committed that you have to stay on the call. Mina, so you were saying your neighbors now, do they have a home to sell, or is it just, these are my neighbors and I just don't know who they are?
Yeah, my neighbors, I just don't know who they are.
And you want to be able to go introduce yourself as a real estate agent?
Yes.
So before I tell you what I would do, tell me what you think you should do.
I was thinking writing handwritten notes and just using myself and send my card, and probably I'm still debating what should I send with it. Something that would help them.
Well, I mean, we're doing care calls right now to people we know, and I find it really interesting. When I moved to New Jersey, so I lived in Texas before here, I knew every neighbor because as you're going down the street, everybody's waving in Texas. You know everybody. And when I moved to Wyckoff, my neighbor next door, I had to ask permission to park my car in her driveway so that the moving truck could be in my driveway. And she came out her house and she was like, hey, congratulations on moving in. Just want you to know that most people in the neighborhood, we really just keep to ourselves. So she was pretty much telling us, like, don't bother us. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really know how to take it, but she was like, we all just keep to ourselves. And so Michelle and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay. And so that winter, Hurricane Sandy hit, and that was in 2012 when we moved here. And I had this big generator because I had lived through Hurricane Katrina in Houston, so I had this big gas generator. And so I filled it up, had the whole house running, and I look over at my neighbor's house, completely dark. And I was thinking, you know what? In my mind, I was being a little mean, so I was like, "F them," they didn't want to talk to me. But then my mom, the Christian in my ear, was like, "Listen, you have a neighbor, be neighborly." So I went and knocked on their door and I said, "Listen, I have this huge generator. If you have an extension cord, just plug up, right? Just at least run your fridge, run your TV." And after that, when I tell you, this lady was my biggest fan. She worked at the YMCA in Wyckoff. She told everyone about me. After that, she was like our biggest fan. And so I think we just need to go love on our neighbors, and it doesn't have to be so formal. I think for you, it's just, hey, I've been living here for X number of years and we don't even know each other. I just wanted to introduce myself and see how are you doing? Just be neighborly, just check in on them.
Okay.
And
That
then
sounds
take the care calls from Bo Pivot and just go through what they tell us in that care call. How's work? How are things going for you?
so I just write a note about it because I don't have their numbers.
Well, how could you get their number if you really wanted it?
I have a question. Are they new neighbors or are you a new neighbor?
Oh no, I've been living here since almost
Are they
8 to
new?
10 years. But I never worked from home, and now being a real estate agent, I just want them to know. I mean, I want to talk to them, and I just want to introduce myself.
I think,
Whitepages.com.
yes. Say again, Ira?
I use whitepages.com all the time to get a phone number.
White Pages, you can get a number, or you can just write a quick note and say, "Can you give me a call? I wanted to see how things are going," and see if they'll call you.
Okay, perfect.
You could go door knock, right? I still believe that we can door knock with our mask and step away 6 feet. And when they open the door, just say, "Hey, I'm been working from home. We haven't met, and I just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing. Is there anything you need?"
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
just be neighborly. I don't overthink it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, Dave. If I mean, you could write a simple note saying, "Hey, I'm a local realtor here. I live right down the street. I'm just checking in on my neighbors to make sure that everybody's safe and good. And if they need anything, please feel free to reach out. My number, my email is right on the card."
Okay.
Cool.
That's
Yep.
the best.
Yep. And then as you get into conversation with them, could you talk about, like Tony was saying, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. I know right now a lot of people are thinking about refinancing with interest rates being so low. I have great connections if you're interested in that. Also, I know a lot of people are looking to buy and sell, and I'd like to help anybody you know. However it is, just reach out to them."
Okay.
I'm very hands-on, face-to-face in my neighborhood. And what
Hmm.
I've been doing since COVID is calling and seeing if anyone wants to go on a walk. And you'd be surprised how many people are very lonely right now and are jumping at going for a walk, 30 minutes.
Yeah. And Mina, also, I mentioned this to, I don't know if it was, I think it was Tara. We were talking about having a happy hour, right? And I know, Tara, you had started doing this at one point in time. But what if for your neighborhood you just had a meet your neighbors happy hour on Zoom, and you just wrote notes and gave everyone your Zoom meeting ID and said, "Hey, every Thursday at 6 o'clock, I host a happy hour. I want to get to know my neighbors and would love for you to just sign on so we could, fellowship and talk for 15 minutes."
Yeah, that's nice.
What if that was it? Because I know, Tara, I don't know if you're still here on the call. I see your picture, but you were doing that, correct? Okay, she might be away. I know she has kids, so.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm making waffles, listening,
I figured as much. I figured.
multitasking. Yes, I did do that before.
Yeah. And people were open and receptive to it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially right now, just because people are, craving socialization with adults, and
Okay.
yes, definitely
I'm telling
receptive.
you invite me or Hazel to any virtual happy hour, we'll be there. Hazel will have her tequila. I'll have my bourbon. We're good to go. All right.
You know,
All
I
right.
was thinking my neighbor, I mean, like light bulbs are going. My neighbor left me a note on my mailbox, and it said, "Hey, my name is this and that." It was husband and wife. We always see you walking your dog, and if you ever want company, we'll walk our dogs together. And now that you guys are talking, and they gave me their phone number to call, say, "Hey, I'm going for a walk now," and I'm like, wow, I should be targeting all these dog people around too, and say,
My
"Hey, if you ever
biggest
want."
neighborhood advocates that send me tons of clients are these senior citizens that walk. I walk with them, and dog walkers. They are my hugest assets.
Yeah, I mean, like as you guys are, I never thought like they left me a note. Like I should be leaving notes to other people too.
Well, I think there it is, Hayes. I think you kind of figured out something that you can be doing.
Yeah. All right. Good talk.
All right, I'm gonna
I'm
mute.
going to
Hey,
Tara's
Kara, I'm gonna
tomorrow.
mute you. I actually want some waffles myself.
Me too.
So this call is supposed to only be 15 minutes, but I was really enjoying the conversation. So I appreciate you guys staying on and listening. So I think we better end it now so you guys can get on the phone or do whatever you're doing for Red Day today. I don't want to keep you guys any longer, but thank you. And Hayes, I want to say thank you for always participating in role playing. I want to say though that I want to hear more people role playing and participating because, you know, Hayes is getting her unfair share right now. She's getting better because she's engaging in these calls and actually putting herself out there. And so she is getting more attention and getting better because she's stepping up. This is a safe zone for all of us. So we sweat and practice so we don't bleed in war, is the saying. We want to practice with our peers versus practicing on our paycheck. So I want you guys to get to a point where even if you're a little nervous, and I know Hazel gets nervous, she still does it. So even if you get a little nervous, here's the place to get nervous when we can correct the mistakes you're making and allow you to practice so that when you show up and you're talking to a seller, you know what to say and you're comfortable in what you're saying. So the next time we do this, I'd love to see more people participating. If not, I know I have Hazel. I know she's always going to ask questions and role play. However, you guys need to participate as well. You'll get more out of it if you do. Look at me, and Amina's like, Amina, you're a good role player, so I don't know what you're talking about over there. You just got to participate. You're good. You know you are.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys on the call tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Have a
All right,
good
thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.